What's good, my people? This your boy JayRCobra coming back at you with a video, and this is Madden 07 on the GameCube, and this is the New Orleans Saints franchise. But today, I want to get into the sliders that I've been using and the sliders that I will be using on this video. So let's get this started. So first and foremost, I'm going to go to gameplay settings. As you can see, I've been playing on 5-minute quarters. And the skill level is on All Pro. And now I'm going to explain to you why I play on All Pro. You switch it to All Madden, obviously. This is what it says. Setting skill level to All Madden will turn off all auto assist options. That I don't care about at all. I do everything manually. I don't need any auto assist. I don't need the CPU to help me out with anything. I can play the game just fine. But this is the problem I do have. And it would turn on the QB vision. Now, I respect what EA was doing back then when they brought in the QB vision, the QB vision cone. The way we played this game back in the day, me personally, I don't like the QB vision at all. I feel like I'm doing way too much by looking with using the QB vision change up and look around the field and all that stuff and then press the button. I feel like that's too much. I already can see the field with my own eyes. I don't need a QB vision. And the way we used to play, none of us used QB vision. None of my friends, none of my cousins or whatever, anybody who was at my house or I was at their house, we never used QB vision. So that's why I don't play on All Madden. And that's why we used to use sliders on All Pro to have some have a competitive play by the CPU. Now we're going to get into everything else. As you can see, fatigue is on, injuries on, Madden challenge is on, and the accelerated clock obviously is off. So we're going to go to custom game. As you can see, my settings right here. I don't know why. I don't really care about player lock. It's on, whatever. Auto subs is on. I leave all that default. QB vision optional, which I don't never use, but it's optional because I never touched it. Auto, as you can see, auto pass, auto strafe, offensive catch assist, and defense pass assist is off. Like I say, I don't need any assists. I can do everything manually. Rumble is off. That's not important, but I never play with Rumble. Even on the PS4 and the Xbox One, I don't play with Rumble. And pre-play instructions is on. Okay. Injuries is normal, and I didn't touch any sliders on that. Penalties, I think I'll put every penalty up one notch so you can get some kind of penalties, because if you don't turn up the penalties at all, you won't get any penalties. So that's why I don't get as many penalties, and I don't want a lot of penalties because I'm only playing 5-minute quarters. I'm not playing like 10-minute quarters. If I was playing like 10-minute quarters, accelerated clock, yeah, I probably would put everything all the way up max except for holding and clipping, because if you have holding and clipping up max, I mean, every big play is going to be a holding or a clipping. So, but that's why I got this like it is, because I can get some kind of penalties, but I don't want too much. So that's perfect. I don't have to touch that at all. Now, I'm going to start with the CPU first. As you can see, CPU is default. I didn't touch anything except for punt accuracy. Punt accuracy, I turned it up because if you have a dangerous returner, I don't want the punter to kick it directly to the returner. It doesn't happen in real life. It shouldn't happen in a game if you want to be kind of sim. So that's why I have the punt accuracy on. And plus, they have more coffin corners for the CPU. I don't want everything to be a touchback. Sometimes they can get you pinned down on a 1 or 2 yard line, and I like that. Sometimes that happens, especially if you got a good punter. So that's why I turned that up about 5, I think +5, I want to say. All right, now we're going to get into the human. I'm going to explain to you on each category why the slider is like it is, and then I'll change it. QB accuracy, I'll leave default. Why is that? Because if you put the QB accuracy down, everybody turns into Matt Flynn. Everybody has a noodle arm. Nobody can pass past 20 yards accurate at all. So that's why I don't turn it down, and I don't turn it up at all. I don't turn none of my sliders, the human sliders, up at all anyway. But I don't turn any sliders up on the QB accuracy, because everybody turns into Tom Brady. Even if you like the most trashiest quarterback in the league, you're going to be throwing like Tom Brady. You're going to be throwing like Peyton Manning. You're going to be throwing like Drew Brees. You're going to be throwing like Brett Favre. We don't need that. So that's why I keep that default. Pass blocking, I have it down by 1. I'm going to put it down by 2, because if you go anything less than -2, your offensive line is going to be oblivious. They're going to miss blocks like crazy, like normal blocks. You don't want to see your offensive lineman just missing blocks, just letting people go past and not even try to protect the quarterback. So I'm going to leave it at 2. So the CPU probably going to get maybe a little bit more sacks than what it's been getting, but that's why I'm going to put it down to 2. But I don't want it to be too crazy where I'm getting sacked on every other play. Wide receiver catching, same thing as the QB accuracy. I leave it on default, because as you can see already, if you've been following the franchise, Dante Stallworth already then dropped a lot of wide open passes, passes that he should catch. If you put it down anymore, there's going to be more drops. It's going to be unrealistic. If you put it up, there won't be any drops. So I want drops, because if you put it up, even if the pass is contested heavily, everybody becomes Randy Moss. You don't want that at all. You want to keep it normal. You don't want it to be down, because you don't want people just everybody having stone hands and butterfingers. You don't want that at all. Next is running back ability. Now for YouTube, for one thing, I'm doing this franchise because I wanted to showcase Reggie Bush. I already explained that in the intro. If you haven't seen the intro of this franchise, go check it out. But I wanted to showcase Reggie Bush. Any other time that I would be playing this, if I wasn't doing this for YouTube, I would put this down to at least -5. But I'm gonna explain to you why I didn't put it on -5 for YouTube. If you put it on -5, you wouldn't, for one thing, the highlight stick is very valuable. The highlight stick wouldn't mean a damn thing if you put it on -5. And if you turn the running back ability up, everybody's going to be trucking. You probably won't get tackled at all. You'll probably have 300 yards rushing every single game. So that's why it's okay to leave that normal. So like I said, for YouTube, I want the runs to be entertaining. I don't want to be tackled every single time. But that's why I got that up, and I'm going to leave it like that. And if you have a problem with it, you can comment down below. And if you want to see more realistic running and you don't want me to put on a show, I'll turn it down to -5. And I can still run it like I want, because like I said, I've played this game a whole lot. I did 20 seasons before on this game, so I know the ins and outs of this game like crazy. But let's move on. The run blocking, same as pass blocking. I'm going to put it down to -2. Same thing as pass blocking. I don't want to put it down too much, because once again, the offensive line can get oblivious and they're going to be missing blocks all the time. And like I said, even on the settings that I had it already, it done had some missed blocks that you probably didn't saw on any of my videos of this franchise. They had missed blocks, but it's okay to have a little bit more missed blocks. But I don't want it to be so crazy where everybody's missing blocks. You're going to have corners on outside runs shedding every block. Like, you don't see that in real life. A man that's 180 pounds to 200 pounds shedding a 300 pounder every single time. You don't want that at all. So that's why I'm going to drop it down a notch. On to defense. I'm going to start off with awareness. Awareness, I'm going to drop to 2. And that's another thing. I don't want my defense to be oblivious, because if you drop it down anywhere under -2, you're gonna have for one thing, every play action, you're gonna get beat every single time. You don't want that. You don't want your safeties to get pulled up all the time, and then you're gonna give up a big play every single time. So I'm going to keep that at -2, which I wanted to put it at -2 anyway, but I guess I forgot to change the awareness. I didn't want that at default. I wanted it on -2 anyway, but that's okay. Knockdowns, that's when the corners knock the ball away or whatever, but I'm going to put that all the way to 1 because I'm good with the user skills. At least I think I am. The computer can't get passes off on me like talking about it. Like I said, because I played this a long time ago when I was a teenager, and now I'm older. I think I'm pretty much way better than what I was back then. So I feel like I could put this at 1 and test it out. I'll probably test it out until the playoffs, and then if I'm still going crazy with the knockdowns and the defense in the secondary, I'll put it all the way to 0. But we're going to test it at 1. Interceptions, same thing. I get a lot of users because I know how to play the free safety position, and I have user skills on this game. But I'm going to drop it down to 1. The thing is, I already know anything under -5, I won't be getting that many picks anyway. You're going to have a lot of drop picks, but that's okay because I want to have shootouts. You know what I mean? So I want to keep it like that. Break block, I'm going to keep that normal because everybody, if you drop it anyway, everybody's going to get locked in. And if you put it up at least 1, everybody's going to be shedding blocks. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So I'm going to keep break block, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit because I'm going down to tackling. I'm going to put tackling at 1 also. I had this also at -5, but I'm going to put it down at 1. So maybe the CPU can probably break more tackles. I thought they would break more tackles at -5, but I guess I'm good at tackling. But let's see what's going to happen at level 1. And the same thing with interceptions and knockdowns. If I'm still blowing the CPU out and I'm still shutting down the CPU, I'll drop it to 0. Same with interceptions also. I don't know if I explained that, but same with interceptions, I'll drop it down to 0. Special teams, that's all going to stay the same. There's no reason. I barely even kick field goals and punts. I can punt however I want. And kickoff length, it doesn't matter. I want returns anyway. So that's the slider sets that I'm going to use right now. And then I'm probably going to change some things up again. Maybe if I'm still blowing out the CPU and having pretty easy games, I'll drop down some of this stuff some more. So yeah, man, because I have these slider sets. Some games I actually had good games, as you can see, like the second Tampa Bay game. Cadillac Williams ran all over our defense. And they have some games where I shut down a run, but I don't want to shut down everybody. I want to make this game as entertaining as possible. You know what I mean? And I don't want this game to be all crazy where people missing blocks and quarterbacks not playing like their real life counterparts and things like that, and receivers and whoever else on the field. I want everything to be somewhat realistic and fun at the same time. So that's why I'm playing it like this. And this is not a rebuild, man. This is not if this was a rebuild, this is what I probably would do. I probably would just drop all my human stats, you know what I mean? Because it's a rebuild, and I would like to build pretty much a trash team up to a Super Bowl contender in like a few years. But like I said, this franchise probably, I want to make it last only maybe like 2 years, and that's it. Like I said, I wanted to get Reggie Bush an MVP, Rookie of the Year, get him a couple of Super Bowls, you know, make him get a few milestones that he probably didn't get in real life, and try to do it within 2 to 3 years. And that's all this was going to be. This was supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be blowouts all the time, and it's not a rebuild where I'm struggling to win the Super Bowl. Because like I said, and I'm playing with the Saints, and this year, this is pretty much 05, 06, and this was the year when, 06, 07, I'm sorry, 06, 07, this was the year that the Saints made it to the NFC Championship anyway. So it's already a good team. So it's not a rebuild at all. And they lost to the Chicago Bears. I'm more than sure y'all probably know. But this was a good team already. It wasn't supposed to be a rebuild. It's pretty much not supposed to be that hard. But I do want to have some kind of competition. I don't want it to be too easy either. So I'm gonna play with these sliders for the rest of the season, and then if I'm, like I said, if I'm still blowing out the CPU, I'll change the sliders even more for the playoffs. So that was my slider set, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.